So, you need some help setting up Vtube Studio? Don't worry, buckaroo. I've got you. I'm throwing together this hopefully helpful video for setting everything up in Vtube Studio for the first time. From installation to setting up your model to some nifty little features along the way. So, are you ready? Alright, let's go! So first things very first, what is a Vtube Studio? Vtube Studio is a program used to track a live 2D model via face tracking. Most commonly with the webcam, but you can also do it via phone. It is the most popular tracking program out there that is packed with a ton of features. Like a Swiss Army knife. If a Swiss Army knife allowed you to pilot anime characters like a mech suit with your face. Basically, if you want to use a live 2D model, you're going to be using Vtube Studio. Where can we find Vtube Studio? I am glad you asked because I am here to tell you. Steam. It's Steam, as in the digital distribution service and storefront developed by Valve Corporation, according to Wikipedia. I'm quoting Wikipedia. So just mosey on down to that Steam storefront, search up Vtube Studio, then we're gonna click and install for free. Once it's done installing, feel free to click that launch button in your games library and we'll get acquainted with Vtube Studio. Oh, big step, I know. When you first open the program, it is going to look a little like this. Oop, look at all them buttons popping up there. What are they? What do they mean? Don't worry, I'll walk you through it. We are going to start with showing you how to import your model. The very first button here, if you hover over it, should say Change VTS Model. If you select this, you can do one of three things. You can click one of the pre-made models out of the list, and it will load one of the models that's already in Vtube Studio. Or you can click Import Your Model button. This is going to take you directly to the Live2D model directory, where you're going to put, well, your Live2D model file. I highly recommend pinning this in File Explorer so it's easier to get back to. That way, you don't have to open up Vtube Studio every single time to import a new model. Trust me, that's a pain in the butt. We are then going to go back to that first button, Change VTS Model, and click our model from the list. It may not show up at first. If so, restart the program. Now we are going to click on the model, and there they are. Wow, look at them. To move them around, click on the model and move to drag. If you would like to zoom in on the model, use the scroll wheel. If you would like to rotate the model, click Control and use the scroll wheel. Oh baby. You've successfully imported and opened your model in Vtube Studio. Congratulations! Let's move on to the next part. Okie dokie, we are now going to set up the model. This entails turning on your camera of choice for tracking the model. This is done under Settings. We will also be briefly touching upon other aspects of the Settings menu. Keyword being briefly. It can get in depth. Alrighty, so without further ado, let's click on the pink gear here. Settings. And it will open up this handy dandy menu. You can navigate through the settings by the white bar up at the top. There are 4 buttons here: General Settings and External Connections, Webcam Tracking, Video and Visual Settings, Model Settings, and Hotkey Settings and Expressions. We are first going to be focusing on the Webcam Tracking, Video and Visual Settings. Under this tab, the only thing we'll be focusing on in this tutorial is the webcam tracking tab here. If you would like a more in-depth look at the settings tab, please let me know. Webcam tracking is exactly as it sounds. This is where we set up our settings, for lack of a better word, to track the model. There are 3 buttons up top pertaining to what you use to track your model, what kind of tracking is used, and the type of tracking. First, we have camera settings. This is where we set up our camera. Mine, personally, is set to an integrated camera. Second, we have tracking quality. The type of tracking here will depend on what is available to your system. The default integrated into Vtube Studio is 5 levels of tracking, and quality is going to vary on these. 2 other types of tracking that is available is Google Media Pipe and NVIDIA Broadcast if you have a NVIDIA graphics card. And lastly, we have tracking type, which usually is only going to be set to face tracking. Now, to actually turn on the tracking, aka the camera, which you can do quite simply down here by clicking the camera on button. And hello! This is the face that actually pilots your VTuber. If the tracking looks a little funky, you can hit the calibrate button here. Make sure you're keeping a straight face, look straight at the middle of the screen, and this will reset the tracking. Let me get the creepy face out of the way here, hit X. So yeah, that's the basics of getting your model to, well, model. Hi, this is me the next day. I forgot a little bit about this section here. Just a little aside, if you're having some issues with your blinking looking kind of funky, there's this nifty little thing down here called tracking settings. And underneath here, there is a section called link eye blinking. If you want to, you could click always and it will link your eye blinking together. So if that's something you want to do, that's available there. And now just to run through the other settings here really quickly and messily. General settings and external connections. Name is on the tin. It's general settings of Vtube Studio in general. And then with the little gear icon with the person, this is model settings. This is where the meat and potatoes of your model is, aka all the parameters, the gears and cogs that make up the model itself. Here, you will be able to tweak bits and pieces of your model to make it move better and make it a little less stiff. If you would like I can't English. If you would like me to give an in-depth tutorial on how to do this, I would be more than happy to help you with that. Hi, me again the next day. So, I would like to direct your attention back towards the model settings here, because there's this nifty little thing underneath here called movement configuration. If you notice your model may be moving around quite a lot, you can adjust that over here with X, Y, and Z. Or you can hit the activate button to completely turn it off so your model is static. Okay, back to it. We have hotkeys, settings, and expressions. This is where you are able to set up specific actions that you can do with your model, such as expressions or animations, via keybinds and hotkeys. That's the basics of the settings. Wowie zowie. We are now going to move on to some other not so miscellaneous things about Vtube Studio, such as backgrounds and props. This is the real fun stuff, guys. We're really going at it here. Over here again on the side here with all the buttons, the second one up at the top, you will find the change background button and the item settings. If we select the change background button, this will pull up a menu where you can select a background. Some of these are already put in Vtube Studio, but much like importing your model, you can also add backgrounds to the below directory in File Explorer. I am going to select one of the ones I've already put in that folder. Item party. And the final thing I will be touching on is item settings, or props. Whatever you want to call it, tomato, potato. By selecting item settings, the item menu pops up. And it is here that we are able to select any kind of items that you would like to add to your model. For example, I'll select this blue birthday hat. This is item settings, where you can change the settings to the prop specifically. We have item order, which changes the order from the camera to the model, the little kitty in the middle being the model itself. And if you would like to pin the prop to the model, or you could turn it off and it would just be a static floating object. We're going to click OK, and it loads into the scene. You can put it anywhere you would like. Your head, your wing, wherever you would like it to go. Fascinating. And if you ever want to get rid of it, just grab the item, and down in the bottom left-hand corner here is a little trash can. And that will get rid of the item. So that's going to conclude our quick, not so quick adventure into the magical land of Vtube Studio. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to comment below and I will do my best to help you. Thank you so much for watching and have a beautiful day. Bye bye.